Hi everyone, welcome back. It's Laura at Hyperstamper, and I made a paper doll journal a few days ago and I got quite a few emails asking when I would make another one. And I was so excited to make another one that I just put one together today, and I am thrilled with how it turned out. So like before, I've got a paper doll set here from the 1950s. When I received it, it was already all cut out, all the pieces lovingly and perfectly cut out. And this little one here is my little doll. And again, I've put a magnet on the back of her with some metal here hiding under antique paper. And so she can stay right on the cover. And then I've tucked into this vintage doily here, this beautiful little dress. And the number 4 is the doll. There were 4 dolls in this set. She's doll 4, and then all the clothes have 4s on them in this set. So all 6 or 7 of her outfits are in here, and there's a little package of the accessories as well, which are so fun, little hats and purses and ice skates. I love it. This is a vintage necklace piece here with these huge baubles on it that were the same color as her dress, and then the ribbons also the same color as the clothes and the doll. I'm just gobsmacked at this. The book itself is from 1947, and I've got antique paper on the back there. So let's take a look before I put it in my Etsy shop, hyperstamper.etsy.com. And of course, everything in here is antique and vintage ephemera. No commercial products, no digitals. It's all authentic. And especially this pretty little flower here that I actually pressed last summer. Totally forgot about it until I opened up a dictionary to find this paper. And yeah, there it was. So it lives here now. This is just a wonderful Fun with Dick and Jane page here. The kids are visiting Grandma and baking cookies. So I didn't touch those because they're just so precious as they are. Now here's a great little pocket set. This is the gorgeous dress that goes on this girl. Let's take her off again like we did the last video. And look how pretty she is. Even the little shoes cover up her little feet there. Aren't they sweet? And in this pocket, I've got her little hat. Anyways, it goes there. You can see how it goes there. And is that sweet? There's even a little purse in the back, I think, that goes with this outfit. And then in this pocket, there is this handmade lace doily, and I love it. I just didn't have the heart to ever cut it up, so you can even see all the beautiful little stitching here. It is coming apart here because it's so old. But I just left that to the new owner of the journal to have fun with. Maybe they would like to use it and use this little pocket here. I'm just going to set that aside there for something else. Now on this page, we have another great outfit, and there is a cowboy hat accessory to this one. Here's her little Western outfit. Look at the little gloves. She's awesome. Yep, so that goes in there. And then behind it, I have an antique. I'm not going to fiddle today. I'm just going to leave the things to the side because I'm at an awkward angle. This is from 1945, this beautiful postcard here. Love it. And I have another postcard. Look at this stunning postcard. This is Blackpool in London. Whoop. And that is from the 1930s. But look at how they've colored it. Isn't that spectacular? And then one of Stacy's Maple Grove receipts from the 50s. Let's keep going. This is an antique book page here with some journaling spot, 1940s Theater Arts Magazine page. And then this is from the early 1900s. This is Billy Whisker's Painting and Drawing Book. Look at how good this is, from Akron, Ohio. And it's just wonderful. So some child has done a little bit of painting here with black, and then they painted this front page. That's the beginning of that coloring book. I love it. And then we have here a 100-year-old Alice in Wonderland page. That is the frog delivering the invitation. And then here is another wonderful dress for our little girl here, whose name I do not know. Look how sweet she is in this little outfit. Oh my gosh. Yes, I've been playing with them. I'm not ashamed to say it is too fun. That is Stratford Festival Theater there, from a vintage book. And then this is a 1950s authentic bingo card, not a photocopy or a digital. This is the back of a vintage postcard from the 70s that I made into a pocket, vintage pattern paper. This is from the 1940s. Look at that beautiful rabbit. And then here's another fun little outfit here. I believe that is her little house coat. Isn't that sweet? Got some vintage trim on here. And over here, I've got this 1920s page here. I just love it, the baby's drawing. I put some antique paper on the back of that as well. And D for doll, for paper doll. Now We Are Six is from the A.A. Milne story on Christopher Robin and his friends. There is a 1939 envelope topper with a stamp of the king and queen there. And then this is another little outfit. Look at her little winter coat here. Isn't that sweet? Now there was no bottom. Oh, I guess it's like a winter coat dress. She would have worn a little tiny dress under that because there were no pants with this. Girls didn't wear pants, I guess. I don't know, in paper doll, baby paper dolls. And then this is a 1961 Wildflowers of America book page, and just really, really lovely flowers there for you to enjoy. And you could use them in clusters, anything you like. Okay, let's keep going. That is from a 1970s vintage nature book. And then there is a 1920s page again, little children's page, playing with their toys, and maybe they're going to get their paper dolls. And I just love this. This is a little farm boy. Can you see this little fella here on his horse? I love it. And that's from 1929. Look at the beautiful Art Deco framing around that. That's Harold Farquhar. Thank you, Harold, for that great photo you took. Now, this is the interior spine of a very old book from the 1800s, and I just loved how they marked where each signature lined up and the cloth signature end. And then this is a 100-year-old scrapbook page, or cover, that I turned into a little cover for a booklet. And I'll just stuff that back in this belly band here. And just some fun clusters. There's a lot going on here. I've got a ledger sheet here from the 1880s. And this is really cool. This came from a vintage magazine. Look at how beautiful that is, an eagle. And then on the back is just some really cool advertisements. But this is really stunning, this eagle on grid paper to make a quilt. That is 70 plus years old there. And then we have another outfit here for her. Look at this pretty little dress, little orange dress. And then here is her little beach outfit. Look how cute. And there is a little beach hat and a beach bag that goes with this in the accessory box. I can't believe this doll has more accessories than I do. And there's just a great little Melmar coupon, 5 cents. Maybe she's gonna go and buy a gumball, or 5 gumballs. The Island That Wanted to Live, that's a beautiful vintage pocket page there, and that's a 1904 English garden page as well as that. And then this here is just a wonderful winter in northern United States and winter in southern North America. Antique paper on the back of that. I love it. That is from the early 1900s. And then I just love this little My Book House page from 1956. And then we have this 1938 Girls Own magazine page that I turned into a booklet. And I added this tag with all kinds of antique paper on there. And then this little envelope I made. And in there I've got a little mini journaling card. And then over here, fumbly fingers, is this very old plate. Sorry. Oh, it's a single plate piece, a grandfather clock there. And that is very cool. And a hidden journaling spot under there, so you can journal on the back of that one. Yeah, just lots going on there. Wow. And then hand stamped up there. This is from the 1930s, sweet little piece. A lot going on here. Got 5 different things in here. And here is her little skating outfit. And yes, it has 2 skates in the accessory pack. Look how cute that is. I think that might be my favorite because when you see it with the skates on, it's just to die for. This is from a 1940s magazine. I chose it because it had fashion on it. And she's all about fashion. And here is a 1970s vintage Holly Hobby book plate. Another doll theme. Get in there, Holly. And then back here is a great 1950s piece, Tommy's Train Ride. And on the back is this hilarious little story and some cute jokes for kids. I think if you have daughters or granddaughters, they might really enjoy this journal. Here is a 1930s page as well, and I've added antique paper to both sides for you to journal on. So there's like, oh God, there's so much going on in here. I put a 1920s or earlier snap card there. And this is from 1850. This is called the Shrimp Girl. You can see a little jug on her head, little pieces of shrimp up there. And that is from a steel etching. It's beautiful. Here is another antique postcard. This one, oh, sorry, it's vintage, 1954, so 71 years old. That is from an antique book here. Butterfly on one side and sweet little girl collecting turnips on this side. And then I have two things in here, a 1932 Paris, France almanac page, double-sided, which is really cool if you put it in Google Translate. And here is, look at this. I don't even know what color icing that is, but it looks interesting. Swan's Down cake flour. Never heard of it. And then French's mustard looks exactly like that still. So that is really cool, and that is from the 50s. So much going on, just so much. Okay, we're still going. This is from the 1850s as well, school architecture, things to make for the children to play on. So we've got parallel bars, teeter-totters, ladders, and a pommel horse, which I thought was really cool. And I didn't realize a pommel horse was originally made to look like a horse. I guess I could have figured that out on my own, but I just figured that out now. Here is a vintage EduCard. J is for jar of cookies. Again, I've got the children's theme kind of thing going on, and a 1930s flinch card. And this little plate here from the early 1900s. You can tell by the horse and buggies, and that is Constantinople, which I don't even think is a place anymore. The name of that country has changed over the years. And then back here is a great theater arts magazine page, and this is from 1955, so 70 years old. Look at these wonderful advertisements for different plays. Just terrific, just a terrific little piece of history. I love it. And still more to go. Got a little pocket here with two little 100-year-old banknote and a little Melmar coupon. And then this is just a really fun cluster of all different cutoffs. And I added some journaling paper on the back of that, accordion style. And then here is what we've all been waiting for, the little teeny tiny, oh, there's a skate there and a hat. It goes around her chin, the bow at the bottom. There's the other skate, teeny tiny little gloves. And I believe these go with, not the bathing suit, but the dress, the fancy dress. And the straw hat is for the beach. And that is the cowboy hat. And then there is a bag that can either go with the dress or to the beach. Isn't that amazing? Don't forget that one. So I'm just gobsmacked at how fun that is. Another 1940s page here. I've got this 1955 postcard here, the red-breasted merganser. Cool postcard. This is a 1950s Raggedy Ann page. This is another doll theme here, and she's got her puppy friend there with her. There's more dolls here. And then this is a little baby card from the 1940s, and you can open that straight away and do all kinds of journaling on the inside of that as well. Beautiful. Look at that salt lick there. And then this is early 1900s plate, the Good Drying Day, putting their laundry out. And that brings us to the end. I hope you love this as much as I absolutely loved making it. Hyperstamper.etsy.com. Don't forget to subscribe. Come back soon. And bye for now. Oh, and no tariffs. Yay!